We are preparing to take a theme and adjective assessment, and so I wanted to go over the homework with students, so if there were any questions that they would fully understand. And then after I get done with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the written response portion of the assessment. So on the homework, students read a little piece about an old monkey who told his son to break the sticks. He tried to do it on his own and he was unable, and then later when he dispersed the work between his brothers, the work was easily done. So the first question was, do you think a good theme for this would be teamwork? Why or why not? No, this is not a good theme because themes are not one word. Teamwork would be a topic or a subject but not a theme. So for students to just remember that if they're asked about theme, that they cannot respond in one word, that would be a topic or a subject. What do you think the theme of this piece is, and what evidence supports this thought? I think the theme of this piece is that many hands make light work, or it is okay to ask others for help. The evidence that supports this is that the son could not break the sticks on his own, but when each brother helped, the job was easily done. What we've talked about with theme is that theme is not black and white. Students can read something and their interpretation of the theme might be different than someone else's. What it comes down to is how well that choice of theme is defended. So it needs to have support from the details in the text to make it make sense. What event changed the direction of the plot for the theme to begin to be revealed? The event that changed the direction of the plot is when the father asked for the bundle to be untied. Then it was clear that one brother could not be breaking them in one bundle. It was the turning point to the following action where each brother easily broke the sticks and the job was done. So we have talked about that most of the time in the story, a theme is not really revealed until the falling action, because the climax we know from plot is the turning point. So there's something that happens within the plot that sets things up for you to understand what the lesson to be learned is. How did the eldest son's outlook on work most likely change after his dad's advice? Well, what we hope theme does is teach characters or us a lesson. So what did the son learn from this? The first time the father asked the son to break the sticks, he tried to do it alone. His outlook probably changed because he learned he didn't have to do his jobs alone. He probably looked at work as an opportunity for teamwork. If you read a story where the message was, you can't trust others to do your job, how would this compare to the story of the sticks? If I read a story where the message was, you can't trust others to do your job, this would be the opposite theme than in the story of the sticks. In this story, the theme is to trust others to help you. It's that things are easier when you work together. Sometimes we'll read two pieces of text and understand that the themes are different. And sometimes we'll read two pieces of text and understand that the themes are very similar. So I hope out of this homework that students are just remembering to state their theme in a sentence and make sure they defend it with evidence from the text, and that they understand what is the part in that story that sets things up for the theme to be revealed. The next part is looking at adjectives. Adjectives modify nouns. Another word for modify is describe. They were supposed to write all the proper adjectives out of the examples, and those were Tennessee and Chinese. Proper adjectives are proper because they begin with a capital letter, but they also describe a noun. Now, Tennessee is a proper noun, but the sentence does not say, I live in Tennessee, where it's used as a noun in that sentence. In this sentence, even though Tennessee is a noun, it becomes an adjective when it's describing the flag. Chinese is an adjective that is proper because it comes from the proper noun, China. Which sentence has a demonstrative pronoun, or demonstrative adjective, sorry? We have learned about demonstrative pronouns, and we know that those are the words this, these, that, and those. They basically point things out, and they replace a noun. A demonstrative adjective is still that word, this, these, that, or those, but instead of replacing a noun, they are now describing a noun. A is what do I do with this? That would be the demonstrative pronoun because this is replacing some word. Thank you for the great gift. This is not a demonstrative word at all. It is a descriptive word describing the gift. This dessert is amazing. This is a demonstrative adjective describing the dessert. If it just said, this is amazing, then this would be a demonstrative pronoun. May I have some chips? Some is an adjective in this sentence, but it's what we call an indefinite adjective that's describing the chips. So the answer to 8 was C. In this sentence, the old majestic sea turtle moved slowly along the shore. Students looked at each word and labeled its part of speech. The was an adjective, or what we call articles. Those little words, a, an, and the, are articles, and they are inherently adjectives because they modify nouns. We've learned that an comes before nouns that make a vowel sound, and then a is for those other non-specified nouns that don't have a vowel sound, and the is for definite nouns that we're talking about. Old is an adjective describing the turtle, majestic is an adjective describing the turtle, and sea is also an adjective describing what type of turtle it is. The turtle is a noun, moved is the verb, slowly is an adverb, along is a preposition because it tells us where the turtle moved, and it has an object, which is the shore. The is another article, and shore is a noun. Now, what we have discussed is if we think that we have found an adjective in a sentence, we need to find the noun it modifies. Students will be confused going too quickly because they will say a word like slowly is an adjective. But if I am looking for the noun that it modifies to check myself, it's not a slowly turtle and it's not a slowly shore, and those are the only nouns in the sentence. So then I have to say slowly must not be an adjective. In fact, slowly is describing something, but it's describing how the turtle moved. And since it's describing a verb, we call it an adverb. So students do need to slow down, and if they think they have found an adjective, find the noun it modifies. Sometimes students get confused because the adjective might come after the noun instead of before it. This sentence does not say, this fantastic day. It says, this day has been fantastic. And is there an adjective in the sentence above? If so, name it. The word is fantastic, even though it comes after the noun. And if students have found it as well, another adjective is also this. It's a demonstrative adjective describing the day. So there's really two in that sentence. Which sentence shows an indefinite adjective? These pencils are great. We just discussed this before, but this, these, that, and those are not indefinite words, but demonstrative words. These is describing the pencils, so it is a demonstrative adjective. I have many friends. The indefinite words that we've talked about when we talked about pronouns were many, all, none, some, few, most, someone, anyone, everyone. These are words that we try to remember that are specifying something, but we kind of say, not definitely. So they kind of sound like a number, but not a definite number. They can be pronouns because if it replaces a noun, it would be an indefinite pronoun. Like in this sentence, I need several. Several what? Several is replacing a noun, so it's an indefinite pronoun. But here the word many is indefinite, but it's describing friends. Should the sentence say, I have many, many would be an indefinite pronoun, but here it's an indefinite adjective. That one is broken. Again, broken is an adjective, but it's describing one, whatever one is, because one here is an indefinite pronoun, but it's descriptive. So the answer to 20, the indefinite adjective, is B. Which sentence uses a comparative or superlative adjective correctly? Comparative adjectives compare two things, and superlative adjectives compare more than two things. We discussed in class that in high school lots of times students will vote on class superlatives when they're seniors, and they will vote on students that are the best dressed, or that are the wittiest, or that are the most academic. And the reason they're using EST or most is because it's out of all of the students, not just a couple. So basically, ER for comparative and EST for superlative. Out of those three choices, I like the red one better. Since there's three choices, it has to be best. Between the cherry and lime, I like the cherry the best. Since there's only two choices, it has to be better. Between cherry and lime, I like cherry better. Out of all your ideas, this one has to be the best. It's out of all your ideas, not just two. That's why we use best. Today is the coldest compared to yesterday. Since we're only comparing yesterday and today, which is two things, it would be today is colder compared to yesterday. So why are adjectives important? Students need to understand that adjectives help us be more accurate and specific. We did a little activity when we started learning about adjectives that caused some students frustration, because if you're asked to get something without knowing what color or what kind or how many or what does it look like, it can become frustrating. Also, we use adjectives in writing to make it more descriptive and more exciting so that we can feel like we are there, we know exactly what's going on. So adjectives are describing words and they describe nouns. Now, if you just needed help with homework and studying for the test, you can stop there. But if you want to learn more about the written response portion of the test, you can keep watching. On the test, students will have to answer a question in paragraph format. We did talk before with the story of the sticks that things can be different in two stories, but they can also be similar. In class, when we were doing a little pre-assessment, students watched a short video about an elephant that was made fun of because he had oversized ears. But one point when this rain comes, the elephant has shelter from the storm, and he also allows the other animals to take refuge under his ears. Then we read a text called The Olive Tree and the Fig Tree. And it was about an olive tree that ridiculed a fig tree because it lost all of its leaves in the winter, and he didn't think that looked very beautiful. But one winter in an extreme snow, the snow in the fig tree fell straight through to the ground because it didn't have leaves for the snow to fall on, so its branches were safe. But the olive tree suffered under the weight of the snow piled on its leaves, so the olive tree saw that what the fig tree had was an asset and regretted tormenting the tree. So after that, the student should have been able to kind of see a connection between the two pieces and think about what these two things taught us, but maybe in a different way. So students will respond to a prompt on their assessment that sounds like this. Think about what you have just read in the stories, or maybe what you have just viewed and read. Both stories teach the same theme, but in different ways. Compare and contrast how the same theme is taught in both stories. Well, first of all, students need to make sure that they are restating the question all the time so that we are very clear if we are picking up a piece of writing exactly what the student is trying to say. Both stories teach the theme of not making fun of others and appreciating individuality. In both stories, a character is mocked, but in the end proves why he is different. In The Big Gray Elephant, the elephant is made fun of because of his ears. However, in the end, when it rains, he uses his ears as shelter from him and his friends. They realize his ears are of use. In The Olive and the Fig Tree is made fun of by the olive tree because its bare branches. However, in the end, its branches prove useful for not collecting heavy snow. The theme is taught differently because the plots differ. Also, the characters have different things that are mocked. Additionally, one piece was a video, the other was a short story. Both stories share a common theme that is taught in multiple ways. So why did this get full credit? First of all, part of the prompt was restated, and a theme was written about. The theme was then supported by elements in the story. So each story that was read has one piece of proof that's kind of backing up this theme. After that, there is the other part of the prompt which says, what about how they're taught differently? So students need to make sure they attend to the second part of the question. So we restate that part. The theme is taught differently because, and themes are taught differently in different stories, lots of times mostly because the plots differ. The characters are different. The setting can be different. One piece could be a video and one a story. One could be a poem and one could be a short story, or a novel and a short story. So we can have a similar theme even though different story elements are there. So as long as students attend to these pieces, then they will get full credit for this part. And again, students have this in their study guide in section 3. So I hope this helps, and if students have any questions, make sure to write them down and let me know.